Hi everyone. Uh, by now you are all experts. The platform remains the same. You've done the first week with us. So you know we are using Zoom webinar. You do not have options to chat with your friends. You can send your messages. It comes to all of us on the panel. And that's essentially it. Yeah. So everyone who's coming in, keep typing in your class so that the mentor understands who you are. If you need any help, you can again send a message on chat. Q&A largely has been completely ineffective because I get those highs and hellos in the Q&A, but I would really appreciate if you can stick for questions only. It's helpful. I know Vedant used to love speaking to you in the chat, but if you can use Q&A, maybe our mentor Bhuvna would like to use it. If there are any polls, we will activate them and you know how to participate. This is how your entrepreneurship internship, not the course, but the internship looks like. We will be meeting on, today is 3rd, we'll be meeting on 6th, 10th, 13th, 17th, 20th, 24th. And we would expect you to submit your project on or before June 30th. Even if you work in groups, you will need to submit your work individually. If this is clear, okay, this is a secret information that I'll probably give it to you much before I announce it in the group. Uh, the first, all groups in project 1 and project 2 will be presenting on Sunday. So, अपना डिजाइन थिंकिंग के प्रोजेक्ट्स खत्म करो, संडे को प्रेजेंटेशन है प्रोजेक्ट 1 और प्रोजेक्ट 2 का. अभी मत पूछना, मैं ग्रुप में डाल दूंगा. ठीक है? Thank you so much, Arnav. What we are interested to know is your class. Baki, everything is fine. Let me now get your mentor to be there, right? Uh, I have known Bhuvna for a little over 2 years. Bhuvna comes with a huge, experience in the startup ecosystem. She's got a heart of an entrepreneur, so that makes it a little easy to work with her. RiarPro has been beneficiary of a government scheme, and most of the time it was Bhuvna who would handhold us and take us through. So मैं अपने experience से बोल रहा हूँ guys. She's pretty good at it. She's been speaking to people. She's worked across accelerators, incubators, uh, understands policy, and working with stakeholders from different backgrounds. So जब हम startups की बात करते हैं, so most of you understand Startup India and a host of other projects that are there, and hopefully Bhuvna would be able to help you understand and walk you through an entrepreneurial journey, which will give you a 360-degree view. Obviously, through this program, we don't intend to make you entrepreneurs. We still want you to go to college and complete all of it, but this experience should be fairly handy in terms of understanding or having a more holistic understanding of an entrepreneur's story or journey, right? With this, I would invite Bhuvna to take the stage. Over to you, ma'am.
Good evening, everyone. Okay, thank you. Thank you so much for responding. So I will start, Aru. I can share my screen.
Yes, ma'am, you should be able to share your screen.
Yes. Okay. Can you see my full screen?
Yes, ma'am. It's visible.
Okay. So, hello, everyone. Just a quick background. Thank you so much, Arun, for sharing. So this was, I thought I would introduce myself. So I have 8+ years of experience in startup ecosystem. and I am also one of the mentors of change at Niti Aayog. So Niti Aayog also has a scheme where they have created adult tinkering labs across a lot of schools across India. So they wanted somebody in computational thinking and with engineering background. So I had applied for Mentor of Change and I was there. So it's been around 7 years. And after that, I'm also an active volunteer at Ehmas Trust, where we take sessions for students during summer vacations. So I have also mentored 500 plus startups, and all these startups are technology based from different domains, health tech, agri tech, edu tech, a lot of them. So I started my career with college students where their final year projects were converted into startups, and then they also applied for patents. A few of them got granted, and a lot of things that we will come across. And that's it. So when we go across the incubation, internship, you'll also come to know about different resources where you can get help from. So one such term that you will come across is incubation. So we will come across, third or fourth session. So today, the major focus that we spoke about in the, introductory session was about the Safari problem. So the basic thing that we will cover today will be the problem formulation. So I understand that you have already applied for, that you have completed a session at design thinking. We will not talk much about design thinking because I know even last year there were students who came to me who was under this internship program. They have already completed design thinking. So here today we will start the program with the problem formulation. We want to understand why problem formulation is very important when we talk about entrepreneurship, right? So entrepreneurship, when we talk about it, we don't create a solution and then look for who's going to buy it. We move other way around. We check for opportunities. We check what is the problem that people are facing. And then we start thinking, what can we build so that the customers, the people will not face the problem. Okay. So to understand what actually a problem is that you want to work on is very important. Okay. So let's begin from the beginning. So a few questions to answer. Okay. What makes a problem the problem? If you are becoming an entrepreneur and you want to start your own business or you want to work on some project, what makes a problem the problem? Okay, I don't want you to answer now. I will come to that. Just imagine there is a place where there is no one except you. Okay, you're the sole person over there. How many problems can you think in that place? Now imagine a place with 10 other people. How many problems can you expect from 10 people? Okay, like for example, you are in your class. Okay, one person has a problem with mathematics, like maths is very difficult. I'm unable to know the integration or differentiation. In the same class, the other person will have problem with biology, maybe, right? So different people have different problems. Now imagine a place where there are 10 people and 10 people will have umpteen problems, right? Now, whether these problems need to be solved, that is the first question. Are all problems, addressed to be solved? If yes, how do we know which one is the first and which one we will solve the last? Based on what would you categorize the priority level? Okay. So to understand a problem, an entrepreneur is always attentive. Okay. I don't want to get into the traits of entrepreneurship, but what I want you to know is problem can be anywhere. Sometimes you know the problem, it's very visible. Sometimes, people do not know this is a problem until someone comes up with a solution and they're like, oh, this was actually a problem, right? So there is a quick awareness video that I want to play. Just pay attention to this. Okay, so the first thing that you have to do is you have to see how many passes does the team in the white make. You just tell me the count at the end of this video, okay? Okay, how many were there? 12, 8, 9, 12, 2 laggy video, 9 to 10, 8, 13. Oh my God. Okay, 12. Okay, so majority 12, right? The black disappeared. Really? Black were there. Do you want me to play it again? Okay, please don't get into why there is a gray person in t-shirt. Just say if how many of them, right? Let me again play this for you. Okay, the answer is 13. Who all said 13? Okay, I actually saw some answers, some crazy answers that said there's a bear dancing in the middle of the video. I just saw a man in full black moonwalking. Exactly. Okay. So one of the reasons I played this video was to tell you that opportunities are everywhere. Sometimes you see it, sometimes you don't. Okay. So there was actually a bear that was doing a moonwalking. Few of you, saw that, and few of you did not. So it is always important to look for opportunities when you are an entrepreneur. Imagine you are food crazed, okay? And if there is a new app coming to deliver food, or there is a new company who is coming into the food industry, so you should be always aware of what is the problem that is coming, what is the new competitor, launching, things like that. Just 1 minute. Okay, just one. Okay. So to move on next, to talk about how you can select a proper problem, right, that you want to work on. So first thing is let me start with this, okay? What annoyed you this week? Just a question, a simple question. Anything that annoyed you this week? Any random answers that you have? The heat, exactly. It's very sunny in Delhi. Your sister, okay. Power outages, okay. Your swimming club, heat, nagging, people, brother, humidity. Okay, your cat running. It's very interesting to see different. See, that is what I said. Right now, we have 68 participants, and 68 participants have 68 problems. Okay, getting bored whole day. Exactly, it's your summer vacation. Electricity, yes, when there is huge electricity usage in a place, government tends to, cut the supply. Heat, exactly. Holiday homeworks, yes, perfect. So that is what we spoke about. Okay, when we have different people from different regions, they have different problems, right? So let's go. So maybe, for example, like slow internet, late delivery, long queue, difficult app, traffic poor, or customer service, right? So when or a few of them, you know, fighting, few of them you said electricity supply cut. Yes. So So a problem is not simply said but experienced. So this is what I was saying. A problem becomes the problem when not just you but others to face it. A problem should never be your single problem. It has to be faced by others. Then it becomes a major problem, right? It is not something only you face it, but others also face it. Another is a problem is not simply said but experienced. You cannot just talk about a problem and just move on. So it is always experienced, right? And there is another parameter when it comes to problem. A problem, can you measure it? So how is it measured? It is measured by something called as pain points, right? That's right. Is my screen visible? Can somebody confirm?
Yes.
Yes, perfect. Okay, thank you. So a problem becomes a problem when you measure it, uh, saying as a pain points. For example, imagine there is flood during 2015 and 16. There was a huge flood in Tamil Nadu when I was also stuck there. So the problem became huge when there were minor problems that altogether became a huge issue for the entire city. Otherwise, Chennai is prone to heavy rains, but when flood happened, there were all these small issues that became a huge problem. For example, there was no availability of milk. A 28 rupees package of milk was sold at 120 rupees. Imagine 10 times, 6 to 7 times costlier. There were shortage of food. There was shortage, there was 4 days in a row where the electricity was cut down. So pain points are something that people face at like small issues that people face, and that becomes a huge problem. So when we talk about flood as a problem statement, the pain points can be the sub pains that people face because of the flood. For example, that I said electricity cut off, unavailability for uh, proper drinking water, logistical issues, and many things as such. For example, if I talk about a major problem in Delhi right now is the heat, right? Or traffic as such. What are the pain points when we talk about it? When we talk about heat, one is the travel becomes huge issue, right? Another is um, the heavy usage of electricity because we want to use air conditioner, right? And because we are using air conditioners in a lot of houses, what happens? The supply is cut down because the demand is more, right? So these are some pain points that happens because of heat. So this is a huge problem. So to understand whether the problem that you're working is an actual problem, you're supposed to actually define the pain points and who actually suffers these pain points are the people, right? If, for example, a problem is faced by a person, that solution that you will be building will be for the person. Okay, we will come. So don't just think or term what they face, see what they face and feel what they face. So imagine I'm talking about some issue that is happening in Kerala right now or somewhere in Jammu. I'm just hearing whatever the news is telling me. I am defining the problem that they are facing, sitting here in Delhi with all the comfort and just defining it. But what actually you should do when you are building something, when you want to try something, you have to see what they face and you have to feel what they face. That is something called as empathizing, right? In design thinking that you have already heard, that you have learned that You have to start with empathy, right? Same way, any problem that you hear about, it is very important that you put your foot down there and actually see what actual problem they are facing. Most of the times, what happens is whatever is communicated by people to us, we think that is a problem, but what actually they face is very different. Okay. So you have whatever the problem is, when you jot down the actual problem statement, you will define it properly and each word will contribute to your solution, right? And one of the very important things when you talk about problem is how are they facing it and how are they currently solving it? Okay. And that is how you come up with your own idea. What if you are creating something that is already available? So that is why it's very important you talk and you empathize with the people who are facing the problem. What next? When you know a problem and you build up a solution, you have to first understand, is the idea identified is worth? How do you validate? How are people solving it currently? How do you know that if there is a demand for this problem or the solution, right? So before getting into building something, you have to understand a solution versus need. Okay? So I'm going to quickly ask you some questions. I want you to quickly answer with yes, left or right. Okay? So there are two products on your screen, right? If you can see it. One is a wheelchair where a person can also use it for the defecation purpose because they are, they cannot move, they cannot use the facilities. And then another, to your right hand side, is a technology where you will get to know if you run out of eggs in your fridge. It gives you an application, it's an application where it notifies you if you're out of eggs. Innovation, a need or a want. Tell me which one, left or a right. If I ask you which will make a commercial value, which one it would be, left or right? Okay, okay. Left wheelchair, somebody said right. Okay, nice. So, okay, very good. Left and right. Okay, perfect. So first thing you have to understand is for any problem that you are seeing here, for which the solution has been built, the customer segment for both the products are very different. Okay. For example, who will use a wheelchair? A person who is unable to walk, and or maybe some elderly who's not able to move around and they want to use this, or in the hospitals where the patients need to be taken from one room to the other, or they need to mobilize. So this is a product for those people. And to your right hand side, it's for people. I don't know who buys that. Do you know anybody who buys it? So always understand any solution that comes, it should map with a problem, a demand, a need from a customer segment. Then only there is some value of even selling those products. Next, another question. Okay. So to your left hand side, there is a fork that tells you how efficiently you chew, what is the frequency of the food that you are taking, and a lot of parameters that they show. Onto your right hand side, it is a dishwasher. Which one do you think has more commercial value? Right? Okay, few people say left, most of you say right. Yes, exactly. So most of the time, when you come across, Amazon, a lot of products are there, okay? Smart products, where you can use it. But most of them are also there only based on the use cases that are required by the people. I've also seen eggs for boiling eggs. There is a small equipment. So out of these two, it is always important how much the customer will be willing to pay and which solution is actually making commercial value. So dishwasher is something that is required. Sometimes people put a lot of technology into one solution, which doesn't make any commercial value because there is no demand from the customer side. Okay. Last, to the left hand side is a bin where you put all the waste, kitchen waste, and what you get is soil fertilizers. To your right hand side is a scoop hat where you can take ice cream. It's very hard to take an ice cream scoop when you handle it. So it actually generates a little bit of heat when you can scoop it properly, and you can. Uh, this is actually used in ice cream parlors. Which one will make more commercial value? Left or right? Both. Exactly. So if you had an ice cream parlor, you would definitely go for the right one, because if there are huge, you know, huge number of customers who's coming to your parlor, they would require, you know, uh, you need to act fast and give the scoops away, right? So in that case, you would require in that scenario. To your left scenario, it is something that a lot of countries has emphasized that you should come with biofertilizers and other things, and a lot of Indian uh, home, they have it installed, right? So something that gives you value, something that people will be willing to pay and buy. So those are the solution that you need to focus upon. So whenever you come across, when you want to start your presentation or work on a solution, you should always understand, before creating something, will I have customer to pay and buy it? Okay. So this is another this was one of the innovations that happened where you see the chai kings over there, they had come up with a unique solution of the foil covered inside, where the chai that has been stored and for selling it for the delivery and all, it will keep the chai heated for a longer period, and also it does not spoil very easily, so it will have longer duration. So when you talk about problem and you want to build some solution, there are various methods that people have tried upon. So right now we are going to concentrate on something called lean innovation. This internship will be on lean innovation, but we want also to know what were the other methods of innovations that were created. Okay, like for example, there was something called waterfall. Waterfall innovation is something where a company will build their product. At the end of the product building, they will release it. The customer will give the feedback, and then how, and this is the life cycle of a product selling. When we come to agile, in agile innovation, what happens is the company will build the product, will have some features, release the product, then again come, release some features, and then come. And at the end of the entire launch of the product, the customer gives the feedback. But in lean innovation, what happens is, in every small build that a startup or a company does, they release the product, they get the customer feedback, they apply those suggestions, whatever the alterations that comes on the feedback. Then again, they adapt it into the solution, then go back again, release it to the customer, get the feedback, and does that. So this way, instead of applying a huge time, huge resources, manpower, money in a process, what you actually do is you're building a product for the customers exactly how they need it. Okay. Like for example, a lot of updates that you see on your phone, software updates or any updates, it's very, so that became a good hit because they give updates on your laptops or phones only on the basis of what customers need, what customers gave as a feedback, that the runtime was too much, the battery is getting heated for a long time. Okay, not clear, please repeat. Okay. So there are three innovation methods that that has been followed in the innovation ecosystem. One is the waterfall, where they build it, they release it, and take the customer's feedback. That's the only process. For example, imagine a fabric company. Okay, so they come up with some new prints of t-shirt. They do a bulk manufacturing about hundreds and thousands of t-shirts, and they after printing it, they release it, and later they find out the customers did not like the pattern at all. Okay, so what happens to the rest of the batch that they have already manufactured? It becomes waste, right? So this is the waterfall method. They build the entire product, they release it, and they take the customer's feedback. In this, what happens is it takes longer period, it takes more money. The and what happens is if the customer does not like it, and if there is a defect in the product, the entire batch goes to waste. Okay. When it comes to agile method, what they do is they build some feature, they release it, they build a feature, then release it, and entirely they go for the customer feedback. And we also have special teams inside the company who does the who actually check the minor features that they have incorporated. And when it comes to lean innovation, like a lot of startups, a lot of big companies, technology companies, they do it mostly into the product sector, where they build certain feature, they release it, they take the customer feedback, then incorporate the feedback into this, again build it, release it, and then they take the customer feedback. In this way, what happens is, example, if a patch does not a feature is not liked by the customer, they'll be able to remove it quickly. You don't have to manufacture in a bulk quantity. You save the time, you save the manpower, you save lot of resources. Is it fine now, Navya? Can you hear me, Navya? Okay. Okay, okay, this code is a general representation that I wanted to show you. This is not some coding that I have shown. Why doesn't everyone use lean innovation since it's most efficient? So lean innovation comes with a smaller team size. Okay, there are a lot of teams that they have and smaller A. But for different solutions, different products and method, different companies use different innovation methods. Even now, when it comes to large manufacturing companies, they go with waterfall. Okay, so let's go to the next one. Okay, let's come to some activity. So now think of a problem that you want to solve in a common place. Let's have some common places like crowded bus, messy hotel room, a hostel room, long billing queue, overflowing dustbin, near dirty rivers, or you want to say some construction area where there is too much of dust, pollution, anything. Okay. So think of a place. Now concentrate only problem that you want to solve. In this particular region, what are the problems that you can face? That is an activity that I want you to do. Can you quickly take a screenshot? We will go into breakout rooms and then discuss on how to actually define a problem. Shubham, can they go into breakout rooms? Shubham, can you hear me?
Sure, sure. How many groups would you want?
I think there are 67. We can have six groups, maybe 10 in each, plus or minus two.
We are actually in Zoom webinar, Bhuvna. We can't have groups.
Acha.
That's a Zoom meeting feature. Sorry.
Okay. कोई नहीं. So what we can do is, if, please tell me that everyone is sitting with your notepad and a pen. Please tell me that. So if you do not have, I'll give you 1 minute. Please grab a notebook and a pen. I want you to think about a place, crowded bus, or a messy hostel room, a long billing queue, any place that you want to be, any place. Okay. From there, I want you to jot down what are the problems that you can face in that area. In a crowded bus, what are the problems that you can face? Messy hostel room. So one by one for all the five places, or somebody is coming up with some place that you want to work on, we can do that. Can you quickly do that? I will give you 5 minutes for jotting down, and then we will discuss about this each place for 1 minute. Quickly tell me. Okay, I don't want you to jot on here right now. I want you to write it on a paper, and then we will discuss. First, select a place that you want to be right now. Imagine that you are in the place, and create a situation like, it's a crowded bus, it's a messy hostel room, or anything as such. And then jot down the problems that you can see there. Okay. Okay. I want you to jot down on your notebook. And then after 5 minutes, we can discuss about this. So right now, the time is 7:41. We will meet at 7:46. Okay, so it's 7:46. So I can see few answers. Anybody else who is working on? Okay, I have real good answers. Just 1 minute. A messy room creates a heavy mental and physical toil. It drains our focus, disturbs sleep. Okay, these are pain points. Okay, these are pain points that happens because of messy room. Other is uh okay, I think the second one by Vriddhi is for the crowded bus, harassment, germs, communicable infections, robbery. We can make a limit people who can use the bus only with a specific membership. Okay, right now I'm not even talking about the solution that you want to build. I'm just asking the problems. Okay, so we'll come back to the solution part later. Then we have Yashika, slow boarding in bus due to lack of space, correct. Even elderly people may have to stand bumping into each other due to sudden breaks. Pickpockets, because you may not know that you are standing next to a thief in that crowd. Humidity, which may even cause discomfort or fainting of people. Yes, that happens a lot of time, even on metros. Yes. Dirty river, water polluted, diseases, bad odor, loss of aquatic life like turtles, unpleasant scenery, less tourism. Yes. Okay. Harshit, I'm not talking about any solution as of now. I'm just asking you to concentrate on what are the problems that people can face in different places, in different scenarios. Okay. Harm aquatic animals. Area looks bad to see. Okay. Phone snatching, harassment of girls, not proper ventilation, thieves may, okay, that's again pickpocket. Okay, overflowing dustbin, poor and unpleasant odor. Um, we have garbage which hazardous. Then dustbins are not take care. Smell, sanitation, long billing queues. Okay, okay. So we have a lot of problems that people have jotted down. Okay, perfect. So these are some common, problems that people face. Now, I want to ask you in a different way, okay? Lot of the things that you have seen is only through a scenario where you are there, right? For example, you are boarding a very crowded bus and what you will be facing or nearby others that you're facing. You thought about what is the problem with the conductor? What will a conductor face when it is a crowded bus? Quickly tell me on the chat, what are the problems that a conductor might face because of crowded bus? Noisy, okay, not able to stand, shouting, mismanagement, concrete duct. Exactly. Checking. the tickets will be an issue. We will not know if people are actually buying the tickets. A lot of them, they do not do it. Okay. We will also see giving the change. Yes, these are different problems. So that is why I said, so when you consider a place and you consider yourself traveling over there, you will only understand the problem that you're facing in a very peripheral way. But when you actually go to a place, stand there for 1 or 2 hours and see what is the actual the people are facing, you will see different people are facing different issues. For example, they have a lot of people have said that ladies face a lot of harassment there. We see too much of crowd leads to mismanagement in tickets. There is ventilation problem, a lot of things, right? So different people have different issues over there. Correct? Like, for example, imagine uh, I'm going to office early, like, in the morning, and I'm fully dressed. And due to too much of crowd, what happens is my dress gets dirty or anything can fall on me. So a lot of problems can be brought in for single place, right? So what I'm trying to tell you is when you are identifying a problem, it's very important that you go to the place, sit there, observe, and also empathize what actual people are facing. It's not just you, right? You remember my previous slide that said it is not just you, but how what others are also facing along with you. That is the actual problem. Okay. So, what did you notice? So, I will give you another 5 minutes. Okay. Just from your scenario that you have jotted down, you have to jot down again. I'll give you 5 minutes. What will be the most surprising observation that you would see? What will be the most common observation? And which one will be the most frustrating observation? So Nishta has said we cannot. Okay, just one. Like, for example, somebody has said, a crowded bus. Somebody said near the dirty river. Somebody said, messy hostel room. Imagine that you're there with all the observations that you have jotted down, the problems. You have to tell me which one of these, you have to categorize all these problems into three categories. The most surprising one, the most common one, the most common observation, and the most frustrating observation. Just jot down this and we will discuss about this. So Nishta has said we cannot tell, he can only tell what problem he faces. Exactly. So that is what happens. It is not necessary that one person, if you are building a solution, only you have to understand, you are facing it. There will be a lot of people who faces it, right? Even there are companies who builds product who, which others use and they don't. But they empathize, they check what is the actual problem and they build the product. So it is very important on what ground, what is the actual problem that they are facing. I will also give you later in my slide one scenario where an innovator thought that this is going to be the problem, but actually that was not the problem. The problem was something else, right? So it okay, somebody has for the overflowing dustbin problem, like it could only happen if there are too little dustbins or if there is a lot of crowd in that particular place. So the best solution for that is that he could place a dustbin. Okay, I'm not even talking about solution here. Okay, we are just discussing about the problem. Remember, we will just talk about the problem statement here. Okay, common, all are sad and waiting for the bus to be empty, messy room. Okay, just draw down whatever you feel like. The most frustrating, the most surprising, and the most common one. Does garbage on roads? Anything on the river part, dirty rivers that you see, anything on that case. What's the most surprising observation? What's the most common observation and most frustrating observation? Okay. Okay. So we have a lot of answers. Common observations, very crowded. Frustrating observation, very less counters and employees. Okay. Most common, does garbage on roads. Okay. In river, surprising observation would be more trash there. Common observation would be sickness and pests. Frustrating would be smell and water. Okay. We have for surprising observation, no signal for internet. Common observation would be, okay, common observation, germs, robbery, and shortage of seats. Frustrating observation will be harassing a girl and suffocation. Exactly. Uh, so this is on your basis, right? So what exactly that you need to do when you have to categorize which is the most annoying observation and which you want to address first? Because we spoke about the urgency, we spoke about which is the most important pain point that you want to address first, right? You cannot solve all the problems in one solution, correct? So which is the most urgent one that people need that they will also be ready to buy, correct? And you will also be able to address that problem. That is going to be the most frustrating observation, correct? So the most frustrating observation will be the one that people will be willing to pay first. Okay. So to understand which is the most frustrating observation, is it the right way that we did? Like, for example, I'm asking you, you give your own suggestions. This might be the surprising one, this might be the common or the frustrating one. Is it the right way? Or is there any other way that you will be able to categorize better? For example, somebody in your class now said that how would we know what exactly the problem that they are facing? Only the people who has the problem will know better, right? So it is very important that you talk to that person. You talk to different people, correct? Asking from people. That is why survey, review, a lot of things come into picture when you want to work on a problem statement, correct? I'll give you a scenario. So right now, Myntra has a huge sale going on, right? From past 1 week, there is a huge sale going on. So imagine that you want to buy uh, a non-marking shoe for your badminton classes. So you go to Myntra, you want to buy you want to buy some shoe, and what is the first thing that you do when you see a shoe before buying? What do you do? Price and quality, cost. Okay, how do you check the quality? We'll check the looks, brand, okay, reviews. Thank you, Abir, for saying that. Thank you, Mazin. Exactly. So anything that you buy, first you see what is the rating of the product. You see the reviews. You also see what is a picture that has been shared by the people who have already bought it, right? Correct? So it's very important that you want to know whether before buying what is the other customers talking about. Did they like the product? Uh, are there any negative comments? Are there any positive and the negative? Both you will see, and you will also want to see what actually the product looks like. And this is given by when the people who has bought it, they upload the pictures over there. You can see very well what exactly the non-marking shoe looks like, right? In many cases, when you buy a product, you get some service. Most of them happens through word of mouth. Somebody says, "Your Amazon say we bought this. This is an amazing product." That also happens, right? There are also chances that one company produces something and they give a lot of pictures, amazing advertisement they do, amazing marketing they do. But what happens? They actually have a product, a photography team. They take pictures, they edit it, they upload it. But when you receive the product, it is something very different. Correct? This has happened to a lot of people, and most of you would have experienced it. So one of the main reasons before buying something, what you do is see the reviews. Similar way, It's very important before building a solution or acting on a problem statement. You have to get the review. You have to get a survey from the people who are facing the problem. You cannot talk about flood to a Rajasthan person, correct? You cannot talk about a sandstorm to a person who is in Kerala. It's very completely different scenarios, right? So talking to the right people is very, very important. So where do entrepreneurs find problems? So they find it through reviews, they find it through complaints, customer feedback, social media, Reddit discussion, and Google reviews. So I hope everybody knows about all these different ways. Do people know about Reddit? Yes. Put a yes if anybody knows about Reddit. Yes. Amazing. So so usually what we do is any place that you go, any book that you buy, any any restaurant that you go, you always check for reviews, right? So very important is that you also know what actually people feel about a product. It's very important. When you see any complaints, any grievance of any person who's using the product or service, that gives you much better idea uh, from what you will be thinking that I should build this for the customer, right? So we will also get to that. So right now, this is the adept model of design thinking. I know everybody knows it. That is, and what does E stand for? Quickly, just jot down on the chat. What does E stand for in design thinking? Correct. What does D stand for? Define. Perfect. I, ideate. Perfect. P stands for prototype, and T stands for testing. Exactly. Exactly the thing that I was talking about before. The core model that I spoke about, the innovation, the lean model is the design thinking. If you see it, they ask the customer, they come, they build it, and then the prototype is released to the customers. They get the feedback from the customers. If there are any negative or anything that they needed, they adopt it, and then again the cycle goes on until there is a final product that is being released. Okay. So design thinking, we are already there. So I'm not going to emphasize on that. But when so the assignment that I'm going to give you today revolves around the problem statement that I need you to work upon. And it is not something, a very generic problem that you will come across. Okay. You have to go in depth. You have to know what exactly the problem people are facing. It cannot be a generic one. Okay. That's why I want you to start empathizing on this. So the techniques that you can see is user interviews, observations, journey mapping. So you can use Google, you can use Amazon, you can use any platform that gives even this Quora.com. You can use any such platform that gives a lot of reviews about different products and different solutions. Correct? And also the main objective of this should be to deeply understand the user world. How is the person facing the problem? What is the actual problem? What is the current solution that they are using? If the current solution is there, still if they are facing the problem, what is the actual problem in the current solution? This is how you're supposed to map it so that what happens? Any solution that you prepare it, you know this is what the customer needs. Okay. So I'll give you an example what people think. They have a perspective, they think this is the problem, they build a solution, and what actually happens when they go for selling it. Okay. So I'm talking about one of the research scholar that we had in my early career. So she was working on on some application. She was an AI ML expert, and she wondered, and she was building a product where she wanted to see if there is a big, so in southern part of India, if you go, there are a lot of valleys of, and lot of farm of mango. So in each mango trees, you can see hundreds and hundreds of mangoes, there. So, but she wanted to know if she can build a solution where she just scans a mango from the tree and that tells whether the mango is ripened to eat. If she can scan it and she can pluck it, and this can be helpful for the farmers for selling it. Okay? So this was the solution that she wanted to build. So she thought of developing an algorithm where the farmers could scan a mango and then pluck it, knowing if it was actually ripened. Okay? Then actually what happened was, few days later, we asked her, go and talk to the farmers. It is not how it is supposed to be. Go and talk to the farmers. Okay, testing to that. Okay, so she goes to the farmer, she talks, and then later she finds out that instead of the solution that she was preparing, they wanted to know if she can build a solution that could determine if the mangoes are sweet enough to be exported. Okay, that is what they wanted to know. But then later, when they spoke, right, lot of farmers kept saying, one thing we want to know is if the sweet is enough, and another they wanted to know is if the mango is artificial, and this was from the farmer's end. And when she spoke to the exporters, the mango exporters, they got to know the problem that they are facing is something, whether to know the mango is artificially ripened or naturally ripened. Because so, for example, in the early days of April of this year, or in every year, you can see lot of mango sellers across the road, right? So what happens is these are not naturally ripened. How can you get, at the starting of a season, all highly ripened mangoes? These are artificially ripened. So artificially ripened mangoes may lead to, health issues later, and it creates a lot of heat issues and other things, right? Scientifically proven. So that is why the export people, they wanted to know whether the mangoes the farmers are selling are naturally ripened or artificially ripened. So different people in the mango sector, they have different expectations and different problems that they were facing. So whatever problem solution that she was building was not actually commercially valued by both the stakeholders. Correct? So very important, before building a solution, before defining a problem, you have to talk to the person to understand what actually the problem is. So I spoke a lot about customer and consumer, right? So in the next session, the next class on Saturday, we will talk more in depth about customer and consumer. But here is a very quick thing that I wanted to tell you. A customer is the one who pays, a consumer is the one who uses. Exact. Okay. So customer will be the one who gives you money for buying the product, but a consumer is a person who uses your product or service. Now my question is, can customers and consumers be same? Yes, no, no, yes, no. Okay, I will give you an example. Okay, just 1 minute. Okay, I will give you an example. Imagine, let's take a course, your education, or let us take teether. Do you know what is a teether? A baby that uses a teether, right? So now tell me, who is the customer for a teether and who is the consumer? Okay, teether is the one that we use for the kids for biting. When okay, consumer is the baby, parents. Uh, okay, parents are the customers. Correct. So, for example, like you want a book and you go to your parents and you say कि मुझे ये book चाहिए. So your parents will buy that for you, but the consumer would be who? You, right? So customer and consumer are different terms, but Can you tell me a scenario where a customer and a consumer can be a same person? A scenario where customer and a consumer are same. Do you know any situation as such? Exactly. Anything that I buy for myself is I become the customer, I pay, and then I use it, I become the consumer also. Okay. So one important thing when you come across a problem is whom are you addressing the problem for? Customer or consumer or both? Okay. This is a very critical thing that you have to understand. When you work on a problem statement to build a solution, you have to understand whom are you talking to. A person who's facing the problem, right? The person who faces the problem can be a customer or can be a consumer or can be both. Okay? Understand this concept. Okay? So, for example, if there is a crowded crowded bus, okay, and maybe the problem statement is people are not able to, the conductor and the people are not able to track the number of tickets that they are selling, or not everybody is buying the ticket and things that way. This is the problem statement example. Now imagine you come up with a system where you can digitally track and do this, that, and all. You come up with a card, you get some subscription model, something like that. I'm just giving you an example. In that case, who becomes a customer? If you are selling that card, who becomes the customer? Who will pay for you? The owner of the bus? Okay, okay. Anything else? Owner. Who is the owner of the bus? So what if I'm talking about not a chartered bus, but a government bus? Who is the owner of that bus? Okay, uh, government, exactly. So imagine, I'm telling, so imagine there is a bus, a crowded bus का जो हमने problem statement किया. So imagine the problem statement is uh, not a proper mechanism for checking the ticket selling and the people not buying tickets all the time. That is the problem statement. And if you are an innovator and you have a company and you want to sell your digital card, making all entries and exit automated and things that way. Example, and if it's a government bus, who is going to pay for you? Exactly, the government. So you have to understand when you are making a solution, when you want to address it, you have to know the problem both the customer are facing and the consumer are facing. And in the case of customer and consumer being same, it is important that you have to address both of their problems. Conductor who feels mismanagement. No, conductor will never pay for it. No, he is already an employee. Why would he pay? Correct? So he will not pay. Only the government, you have to convince the government in that case to say this is an efficient model and do this and that. If it is a chartered bus, then it becomes another year. This is something that we are trying to do, right? Imagine the bus is owned by a school, your school, and you want to see that every student boards the bus and he gets and your parents can track through the chip that they have given, things like that. In that case, if the school adopts your solution, your school becomes the customer, the consumer becomes who? Can be anybody, like your parents who is using the application for checking where you are, or it can be the students who are getting into the bus to enroll that I have entered the bus at this time and things that way. It can also be the conductor and the driver, the management, who actually sees the movement of the student, how many students have boarded. If a student was not boarded in the morning, he came. In the evening, he did not. So things that way, right? So you have to understand for every problem statement and every solution, customer and consumer can be different. In that way, you have to talk to them properly. ठीक है? Principal or transport management of school. Exactly. So principal never. So these are some legal things that you will get into. Small things like, principal will not pay, the school management will pay, right? So things that way. What is customer validation? So, customer validation is the process that you test the problem and the solution in the real customers, with the real meaningful customers. You don't do it randomly, but you do it properly with a customer and a consumer. So we have already spoken who is more important. Customer because he pays, he'll be important. Consumer is important because he uses. Only if the consumer is happy using your product, the customer will buy the product for the consumer. Okay, I'm telling when the consumer and customer are different. In case of customer and consumer being the same, obviously the person has to be happy using your product or service. Then only the person will pay for the product and service. So this is a customer value proposition that I wanted to talk about, but I think we will do it in the next session. I will quickly go to the uh, assignment part where I want you to work on this. Can you see my screen? Say yes if you can see my screen. No. Yes. Okay, perfect. Thank you so much. So, the first assignment that you have to do is choose a category that you want to work on. It can be food, it can be, waste management, it can be anything that you want to fashion, you want to work on, apparels, you want to work on travel and tourism, anything. First, you identify a category that super excites you and you have an, edge to work in that category. That is first thing that you will do. Next, what you'll do is check for the competitor's platform or product online. Imagine you are very foodie and you like you want to work on some food tech or you want to work on any service based or food chain. You have to check for competitors' platform or products online. Okay? Anything that excites you. It can be service model, it can be product. If anybody wants to say, Ki, I want to work on pet area, pet veterinary, or you want to work on some health tech, anything, any small problem that you want to address, anything as such. But what you have to do is you have to check for competitors' platform or product online. After identifying the competitor's platform or product online, you have to check for reviews by the customers. Now, using the reviews, I want you to note down the problems the customers face. Just the problems that customers face. Okay? We are not talking about solution, what solution you want to build. I'm not talking about how you're going to build it. I'm just asking the category that you want to work on, the competitors, like any company that is building up solutions, that is the existing solutions that are available in the market. You're going to check the reviews. And using the review, you have to see what is a common problem that people are saying. ये ठीक नहीं है, ये ठीक है, या this is not good. Late delivery, whatever it is. Okay. Note down the problems the customers face. ठीक है? Can you do this? Give me yes in the chat if this is fine. Okay, first you tell me whether you understand the assignment. Then we will talk about deadlines, okay? Perfect. We can do it. This is individual. Yes, this is going to be an individual assignment. Perfect. Okay, okay. Ashna Bansal, can you what? Okay, perfect. Ma'am, is it supposed to be digital or pen paper would work? No, it's going to be digital. Come on, we are in digital India. I'm going to send you a Google form. You have to fill it with the questions. I will give it to Arun or Shubham. They will send it to you on your group. I will explain it again. So first, you choose a category that you want to work on. It can be pet, it can be apparel, it can be waste management, it can be water management, it can be, sanitation, it can be anything, fashion tech, it can be any area that you have, that you want to work on. Okay, it can be sports, it can be television, it can be media, anything. Okay. Now imagine I want, so I'm very focused on food. Okay, I'm a foodie. So imagine um, I want to see if there are a combined platform that could give me all, food places where I can go and eat, and I should know the discount, any menu that is there. If there are any services like candlelight dinner or any pet friendly area where I can take my cat and a dog, lot of things. Okay, anything. I'm just giving you an example. Okay, now this is my category. Now with this category, I want to check if any company is already doing this service. So this is a service, right? First, understand what is a product, what is a service platform. So what I'm talking about is a service. Now, I want to check if any company is already doing any service in this area. Now, based on this, I will take those competitors' name, put it online, maybe on Google Play or any Quora or any such categories. I check there, I check their reviews. I check whatever is good. Obviously, that will be 5 star, 4 star, 3.5 star, whatever. But then I will also look into the reviews which are not good. Imagine I want to start a serve. I mean, like my area is food delivery. For example, I will check Zomato. I'll check Uber. Uber Eats used to be there. So Zomato, Swiggy, Eat Your, Towing, or Bistro, any food delivery app. I will check for my competitors' platforms and I will go and check the reviews, what others have given. For example, if somebody, if there is a repeated review, like, late delivery person was not good. What is this, that. Okay. We have lot of problems we have jotted down. From all these reviews, the problems that you have seen, the most repeated common problems that you see, you have to tell me that. Are you getting this? Yes. It's a very simple assignment. All I want you to do is just put in your thoughts. See, a lot of students, I know you will go to ChatGPT and ask all these questions and do this. But what I want you to know is smart work is very important and it's good also. But when I want you to put your thoughts into that, please do not use ChatGPT. That is my humble request. Okay? You have to be true to yourself. 2 days I will give you. By Friday, 3 p.m., you have to submit me this. Today is Wednesday. Come back to me on Friday. Fill out the Google form that I will give it to Shubham and Arun. You have to share with me. Please do not use any AI tools for doing this assignment. How to submit? I will give the Google form to Shubham and Arun. They will share it with you. Okay? Give me a thumbs up if it is clear. Perfect. Okay. Do you have any questions? Yes, only problems. No solutions. Do not talk about any solutions from your end that I want to do this. This can be a solution. No, I don't want you to discuss on solution anything. Let's go step by step. The first session is about problem, the Safari problem. So you have to talk only about the problem. Okay. That water method, waterfall method. So I will tell you. So waterfall, you see, when you see a waterfall, there is a place, okay? The top and the bottom will be the water, right? So it is like the method of a waterfall. They start building it from the top, and only when they come to the down part, they will do release of the product and get the feedback from the customer. Imagine in the midway also, if they had gone to the customer, got their opinion, and changed the solution based on the requirement that they had, it could have saved thousands of batches of production that they had already put into. Imagine for producing 10,000 of t-shirts, they would have spent around maybe 20 days. If they had already given a piece of t-shirt online and asked them how many, what is the demand from the customer, they would have, if there is no demand from the customer, they would not have produced it. Instead of that, if a company has bulk produced a product and then they release at the end, when the feedback is gone wrong, the entire batch goes waste, right? So that is the waterfall method. I have already told you the assignment link to submit will be given to Shubham and Arun. They will give it to you. Okay. Right now, I haven't created a Google form. I will create it by tonight. I will share it with Arun and Shubham. They will share it with you. Any questions? Where will Google form be shared? It will be shared in the group, whatever the group that you have. They will share it there. What is the deadline? Friday, 3 p.m. is the deadline. Any questions that you have for me? Only problems, no solutions, right? Correct. No solutions. Do not talk about solutions. No. See, there can be umpteen problems that you see, but the most repeated ones, the problem that people talk about in a large frequency is the problem that actually they are facing. Do we submit on the portal? Okay, I'm not sure which portal you're talking about. I will have to talk to Mr. Arun and Shubham on
Ma'am,
this.
there's a portal, but they have submitted through Google Home only. That will be more convenient.
Yes. So, because I'm not accessible to the portal, I'll be accessible to my Google form. I would request you to kindly do that on the Google form. Any questions? Can you use AI to find the platforms? No. Knowing the platforms, okay, you can, but please don't ask the platforms to give you the reviews and do that. Please don't do that. Okay, so can we leave now? Okay, thank you, Anita, for joining. I hope we had a fruitful session today. If you have any doubts, Shubham, do we have a common group with them?
Yes, we have. I can share that whatever document you want to share so that everyone can read and pick up whatever they want.
Sure, sure, perfect. Okay, thank you so much for joining today. So we can sign off if you do not have further questions. Sharing the slides, I'll be able to do that. Do you want me to mark for the assignment? Thank you, ma'am, for the thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you, Shubham. So I'll leave the
Yeah. Thank you so
session.
much, ma'am. And thank you everyone for joining. Have a good night and thank you. I'm closing this video.
Yes.